The Young and the Restless, YNR spoilers reveal that some hostility will erupt at the worst possible time. Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, happy occasion could take a terrible turn once a couple of rivals end up in the same room together. The week of June 8th to 12th will bring a grand opening party at the Shadow Room in Genoa City. Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, is struggling over the recreation since she has bad memories tied to the club out in Los Angeles, but she's trying to adjust. This club is important to Noah, so Sienna will do her best to shake off the past and focus on the future. Of course, Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, will hope to rekindle things with Noah based on her own history with him instead. Whether Audra wants to admit it or not, she's growing obsessed with Noah and wants him back. That'll be crystal clear to Sienna once Audra shows up and flirts with Noah right in front of her. Noah seems to consider Audra a friend at this point and doesn't hold any of their old problems against her. Audra and Noah's relationship turned toxic in London, but they're on good terms now that they're exes in GC. Sienna has been trying not to get jealous, but YNR spoilers suggest she'll fail miserably on June 10th. That's when Sienna is going to lay down the law with Audra and share exactly where she stands. Sienna may warn Audra to back off Noah and could potentially even try to throw her out of the club. Audra will stand up for herself, but Sienna's going to dig her heels in against her and make the tension even worse. Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, may wind up trying to intervene along with Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, at some point. Sienna and Audra could be in danger of having a serious catfight, so Holden and Sally may want to shut it down before it gets that far. Even if Audra and Sienna avoid getting physical, there'll still be some troubling news related to them on opening night. The conflict could put a damper on Noah's party and leave him concerned about Sienna's beef with Audra. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra's presence will make some waves and leave Sienna fuming over her bond with Noah, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless. Episode title: Nouveau Rouge, the breaking point scene start, the grand opening of the newest hotspot in Genoa City. Characters: Phyllis Summers, fierce, impulsive, wearing a dress that screams "I'm still the Queen." Diane Jenkins Abbott, poised, smug, the picture of reformed elegance. Jack Abbott, the man caught in the crossfire. Nikki Newman, the judgmental observer. Nick Newman, the uneasy host. Summer Newman Abbott, torn between her mother and her new reality. Extras: the Genoa City elite, waiters, paparazzi. The club is a masterpiece of velvet, gold leaf, and low-slung crimson lighting. The air is thick with the scent of expensive lilies and even more expensive champagne. A DJ plays a deep, rhythmic house track that vibrates through the floorboards. Nick Newman stands near the entrance, adjusting his cufflinks. He looks like he's waiting for a bomb to go off. Nikki Newman glides over, draped in silver. "So, Nikki, it's a lovely space, Nicholas. Though I suspect the guest list might be a bit combustible for such an enclosed area." Nick, dryly: "I invited the whole town, Mom, including the factions currently at war. If the roof stays on by midnight, I'll call it a success." Nikki, scanning the room: "I see Jack has arrived. And he's brought her." At the top of the stairs, Jack Abbott enters, looking regal in a tuxedo. His arm is Diane Jenkins, wearing a sleek ivory gown that screams purity. He looks around with a victorious smile. Across the room, standing at the bar, Phyllis Summers freezes. She is holding a martini glass with a grip so tight the stem looks ready to snap. Her dress is a searing, aggressive red. Summer Newman Abbott approaches her mother cautiously. "Summer, Mom, you promised. You said you were going to stay on your side of the room." Phyllis, not breaking eye contact with Diane: "I am on my side, Summer. The side that belongs here. The side that isn't a resurrected ghost trying to play house with my family. Summer, she's Jack's wife now. Please, for my sake, just don't engage." Phyllis: "Engage? I'm not engaging. I'm observing a predator in her natural habitat, climbing." Phyllis takes a long, deliberate sip of her drink and begins to walk across the floor. Her heels click rhythmically against the marble, like a countdown. Cut to Diane and Jack. They are greeted by a few socialites. Diane is playing the part of the gracious Mrs. Abbott to perfection. Diane, it really is a testament to Nick's vision. Genoa City needed a bit of modern soul, don't you think, Jack? Jack, kissing her hand. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Diane, sensing a presence. Oh, look. The local color has arrived. Phyllis stops 3 feet away. The air between them instantly drops 20 degrees. Phyllis, ivory, Diane. Bold choice for a woman with such a colorful, blood-stained history. Jack, Phyllis, not tonight. We're here to celebrate Nick. Phyllis, oh, I'm celebrating Jack. I'm celebrating the sheer audacity of this person. How does it feel, Diane, to walk into a room and know that half the people here are just waiting for the mask to slip? Diane, coolly. The only mask I see is the one you've caked on with that foundation. Phyllis, you look tired. Perhaps the stress of being professional is finally catching up to you. Phyllis, a dangerous low voice. I'm never too tired to see right through you. See the way you look at Jack. Like he's a prize you stole. Diane, I didn't steal him. He chose me. He chose peace, stability, and a woman who doesn't burn her own life down for sport. Phyllis laughs harshly. Peace. You're a ticking time bomb. You faked your own. You let your son mourn you for years. You think a ring and a change of wardrobe erases that. Jack, Phyllis, that's enough. Summer, intervening. Mom, let's go to the terrace. Then no, Summer, let her stay. It's fascinating, really. It's like watching a silent film star realize the talkies have taken over. You're a relic, Phyllis. Loud, desperate relic. Phyllis's eyes flash. She steps into Diane's personal space. The music seems to fade into the background. Phyllis, a relic. I am the foundation of this town. You are a footnote. Mistake. That Jack keeps repeating because he's too kind to see the rot underneath. Diane, leaning in, whispering. He isn't kind. He's bored of you. Every time you open your mouth, you remind him why he left. You're your own worst enemy, and it is delicious to watch. Diane gives a tiny smug smirk and turns her back to Phyllis to pick up a champagne flute from a passing waiter. It's the smirk that does it. The I've won tilt of the head. Phyllis reaches out and grabs Diane's shoulder, spinning her back around. Phyllis, don't you walk away from me. Diane, get your hands off me, you pathetic. Diane swings her arm to shrug Phyllis off, and in the process her champagne splashes across the front of Phyllis's red dress. The room goes silent. The DJ cuts the music. Phyllis, looking down at the stain. You did that on purpose. Diane, genuinely surprised but quickly recovering. It was an accident. But then, again, red always was a bit too desperate for you. Matches your temper. Phyllis doesn't scream. She doesn't yell. She lunges. Phyllis grabs the front of Diane's ivory dress and shoves her backward. Diane stumbles into a massive floral arrangement. A tower of white roses and crystal vases. Crash. The tower topples. Water and shattered glass spray across the floor. Diane lands hard on the velvet cushions of a nearby booth. Her hair disheveled, her dress. Oh. Diane, screaming. You crazy bitch. Diane doesn't wait for Jack to help her. She scrambles up, fueled by years of repressed rage, and tackles Phyllis around the waist. They hit the floor together. Nick, running over. Hey, break it up. Jack, Phyllis. Finn, stop this. It's too late. The control is gone. On the floor, it's a blur of red and white fabric. Phyllis has a handful of Diane's hair. Diane has her nails dug into Phyllis's wrists. Phyllis, I will scrub you out of this town if it's the last thing I do. Diane, you're nothing. You're a ghost. Everyone hates you. They roll over, knocking over a tray of hors d'oeuvres. Plate of caviar smears. Cross the floor. Phyllis manages to get on top, pinning Diane's arms down. Phyllis, say it. Say you're a fraud. Diane, spitting. Never. Diane kicks her legs out, catching Phyllis in the ribs and flipping the position. Now Diane is on top. She raises a hand not to slap but to grab a nearby pitcher of iced tea from a server's abandoned tray. She dumps the entire thing over Phyllis's head. Phyllis gasps, blinded by the cold liquid and ice cubes. Diane stands up, breathing heavily, her ivory dress ruined, looking like a drowned rat but a triumphant one. Diane, look at you. Just look at you. Phyllis wipes the water from her eyes, standing up slowly. She looks like a disaster, but her eyes are burning with a terrifying light. She looks around at the shocked faces of the Newman and Abbott families. Phyllis to the room. You all see her now? You see the reformed Diane Jenkins. She's a street fighter. She's a snake. Summer crying, Mom, stop. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Phyllis, turning on Summer. I'm embarrassing myself? She started this. Is. Been pulling the strings for months. Jack, voice like ice. Diane. Come with me. Jack grabs Diane's arm. He doesn't look at Phyllis. He won't even grant her the contact. Phyllis, Jack. Jack, look at what she did. Jack ignores her, leading a shivering, sobbing Diane toward the exit. The crowd parts like the Red Sea. Nick steps between Phyllis and the departing couple. Nick, Phyllis. You need to leave. Phyllis, Nick, she pushed me. She splashed me. Nick, quietly. Look around, Phyllis. You're the one who threw the first punch. You're the one who turned my opening into a circus. Get out. Phyllis looks around. Nikki is staring at her with pure disgust. Summer is being comforted by Kyle, who is glaring at Phyllis with murderous intent. Paparazzi are clicking away, capturing every smear of mascara and every tear in her dress. Phyllis realizes she's standing alone in the center of the wreckage. Phyllis, whispering, she set me up. She knew exactly what she was doing. Nick, I don't care. Oh. Phyllis gathers what's left of her dignity. She straightens her wet, stained dress. She tosses her damp hair back. Phyllis, to the room. Enjoy the show, everyone. Because this is just the opening. She turns and marches out, her heels clicking on the wet floor. The cool night air hits Phyllis as she storms out. She stops by the curb, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She looks at her reflection in the window of a parked limo. She looks broken, devastated. Behind her, she hears a door open. It's Diane, wrapped in Jack's tuxedo jacket, being led to their car. Jack is talking to the valet. For a second, Jack is occupied. Diane stops. She looks over her shoulder at Phyllis. The tears are gone. The shivering has stopped. Diane looks Phyllis dead in the eye and gives a slow, deliberate wink. Then she leans her head onto Jack's shoulder, the victim once again. Phyllis screams, a raw, guttural sound of frustration, as the Abbott car pulls away. Spoiler tagline. In Genoa City, some wounds never heal, and some rivalries only get bloodier. As the dust settles on the Nouveau Rouge disaster, the fallout will leave the Abbott and Newman families fractured like never before. Who will Jack believe? And how far will Phyllis go to prove she's right?